Hello everybody, again this is a wonderful route that we're going to be taking. This is the next part of the Tarka Trail in Devon that stretches right from the top coast down to the bottom. So these are the three stages that we have completed so far: stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 1 begins at Ilfracombe and we went to Braunton, but we went down through the middle, following part of the track rather than around the outside. We're going to add that one later on in a few videos time. Stage 2 goes all the way around the estuary from Braunton right the way around to Bideford. So, and today's goes down to a place called Meath, just south of Great Torrington. This is the main route. You'll see it's like a figure of 8, and so the first bit there, the top half, we actually cut diagonally across following the old railway line, and then from then on we follow all the way around the estuary from north to south down to Bideford, and then from Bideford we head south along that blue line there and we end up at a village called Meeth, and the end result is usually to Oakhampton, but there's different ways of getting there, so just be a little bit careful how you pick your route, but generally the surface is pretty good, although there are one or two things. So we're going to show you and demonstrate the route that we've got. So this is the one we're doing today, and we started just outside Bideford, just north of there. Parking can sometimes be a bit tricky, so we found a lay-by just north of Bideford, and we parked up there and then just headed down all the way to the bottom until you get to just outside Meath, and we stopped at the nature reserve there. But there is the final stage. You actually leave the original Tarka Trail, which becomes a walking trail at that point, and heads off, and then we take a little dogleg right at the very bottom of the screen, you can see there, down towards the nature trail, which follows the cycle route, and then it carries on into the village of Meath. So that's where we are today. This is in Devon, and it's right over on the side, not very far away from Drake's Trail as well, which is another excellent ride that we've done in the past, but we haven't videoed. So Tarka Trail is something that I would recommend because the surface is generally good. I think you can do it with families. There are no great hills on the bit south of Barnstaple. There's a few inclines, but there are no great hills. It's north of Barnstaple where you go around the coast, and all of that can be quite tricky. So here we go. We're going to just have a quick look at the ride now, and we're starting just outside Bideford here. We go through the town and then we follow along the winding of the river, and we're going to cross it 4 times and then head our way down past Great Torrington, past the quarries, down in towards Meath, where we stopped at the nature reserve. There's a big quarry lake there. It was a freezing cold day, pouring with rain, and then we just headed right the way back. We'll show you both routes in the video, but we can see we're going both ways. You'll see that although there appears to be quite a lot of climbing on the topographic map there, it's actually literally a couple of 100 feet at the absolute most. 837 feet, including both directions. So here we are. We're starting in this lay-by, and that's just north of Bideford. And you can see the quality of the surface here is absolutely excellent. And so we're following along through past the new bridge that goes through Bideford. That is colossal. You can hear the traffic from quite a long way away, and it now carries most of the traffic bypassing the town of Bideford. But as we head in towards Bideford, you can see it's a beautiful, beautiful town. Definitely would recommend stopping there if you've got the time, or if you can start there, or if you've got some accommodation there, it would be great. A very pretty village, pretty bridges and other things. Here we're just following the railway line as we get in towards the station, and here's the station. But whereas last time we left and went into Bideford, this time we're carrying on, and you'll see that the tarmac surface is really good. There are a lot of other cyclists and pedestrians on here, so please be careful, and please use your bell at regular intervals as you're riding along, whenever you see somebody, just to let them know so they don't have to jump out the way. Mind you, on these videos it always looks like they jump out the way. So you'll see other cyclists, and we often pass them, or they'll pass us. We cross the river first of all. That's a little tributary, and We're really following the river at this moment, and we're climbing a little bit, but the river is staying on our right hand side, and you'll see the quality of the surface is an excellent tarmac. We'll pass underneath several bridges, and a bit later on we find that the sides start to enclose. We're just going to go through this tunnel, which was quite long and dark, so it helps if you've got some lights, and then we start to move out the other side, and at this point it starts to feel a little bit more rural than where we've been, so we're starting to leave the main estuary behind now, and we're climbing up above, and there are views down, but there's quite a lot of trees in the way, and eventually we'll get to the first main crossing of the river. Now what they're doing here is they're cutting back the sides. One of the problems you'll find later on is that the embankment on each side is overgrowing the track. This was quite muddy, there were tractors and all sorts of things in the way, so there's quite a lot of work going on, and this is February, so you've just passed one of the tractors that's clearing the verge, and there was still quite a lot of leaves and other things around. I suspect that by the summer it would have cleared up, but we're still on the tarmac and there's a bit more cutting going on, and we get to the first river crossing, and there are 4 crossings of the River Torridge on our way. This one's quite interesting, it's worth stopping and have a little look around, and there on the Tarka Trail there are little signs, so if you've got youngsters along they can follow with it. Although it's a long ride, it's not insurmountable for kids who are used to riding longer distances, and you can always choose wherever you want to stop and turn round. Now as we start to ascend this next bit and we cross the river again, getting beautiful views from each side, but what you might find is that the coverings, and again another crossing there, the coverings over the road, sometimes there's a lot of leaves in places and it gets a bit muddy. So we're going through another one of the stations, and then we have to go through this little chicane. Final main crossing. That was all single track, past a family that are doing the ride. And now you'll see the surface is different. The surface here, although it's hard packed, is actually muddy underneath. A lot of leaves. It hasn't been cleared back, and it's much more of a gravel bike type of surface. I wouldn't recommend this on road bikes at all. You'll need reasonable tyres, but if you've got 32mm tyres you'll be fine. So we're working our way along here. In places it was a little bit slippery, and you can see these benches on the side. The benches have got carved figures sitting on them, so we thought we'd stop and show you those, just out of interest really. So we're carrying on through this area of forestry. It is very damp as well. We'd had really bad weather, it was extremely cold, and we were riding this. It was above 0, but not that much further, and it had been raining and sleeting earlier on. So as we send up past another station, we do actually have to manage a gate, and then we find here this is a car park, and it's a Tarka Trail car park, so that is another place where you could start and stop. And so we're now working our way out, and we're leaving the environs of Bideford behind. So now we're heading along a bit further, and you can see the leaves are now completely over the path, and it's only the bicycles that have moved them away. It is quite slippery in places down here, so do just be careful. Fortunately there are no tight turns, but we did find, particularly with the tandem, that sometimes the back wheel can break away. You'll keep crossing little bridges, and you'll notice that this is more sort of scrub tree rather than forestry on the side here, but we're still following the railway embankment. And then it gets places, it gets completely overtaken by the coniferous plantings that we've got there. Fortunately they don't chuck too much stuff on the path, but now we're levelling off and is speeding up, and we're getting into a little bit more of the open ground. And here it was wonderful to see buzzards circling. We could see a range of different wildlife in the distance. So through another chicane, those gates are sometimes kept locked, but I think there was some work going on, and we follow along here through the edge of this bit of forestry, and we're going to be rising up now over our sort of last peak, and past quite a lot of walkers. Now I have no idea how those walkers got here, because they're right in the middle of nowhere, so what they're doing quite so far away from any habitation, I'm not sure. They must have walked for miles. But you'll see again it's getting very slippery here. Past quite a lot of sculptures here that people have made. I think the schools must have made them. So a range of different sculptures, but it is a bit of a steep slope, and the surface has been packed down so that when the things are over the top, then it's not so good. But here we've got a cafe stop, and that's another place where you can start, and I'll mark that on the map, but you can see the cafe stop here, and now we can start heading on. And again, the surface improves a little bit on the level, going past several other tandems, bicycles on the way, and we can now continue on. We're heading towards Great Torrington, past another sculpture and through some more gates. Now we do have to do a little bit of crossing around here. There's a bit of work going on. There's a quarry, and I think there's a place where they store all the gravel that goes over the top of the road. But here it was particularly slimy, and we did actually lose the back wheel a few times in places, so do watch out for that. I think you'll be fine in the summer, but at this time of year. And at this point we have to cross a road that leads from a farm, and you'll see the surface has now begun to settle down. It's actually quite well laid out. There's another sculpture there, and then all of a sudden the surface breaks up again, and it was really muddy, quite a lot of puddles, so they probably need to put a little bit of work in keeping it a bit neater and tidier in the height of winter, which is probably not an easy job. You can see it's raining again. We've got rain on the lens. So we're now going to work our way over the top. We're on although it looks like we're still climbing, we're still on a bit of a gradual descent. It's very, very level, and this is the warehouse where they store all the gravel for resurfacing, so the quality of the surface here is pretty good. We cross over, we pass another cycle route that leads off and past the old quarry where the stuff is stored, and now we've got a little bit of a descent, and we're going to essentially be descending all the way to our final quarry. So through the trees here, and it's muddy again, and as we head down this way we'll find eventually that there comes to a halt, and at this point the path continues ahead, but that is for walking only, and we're actually going to go right, and we're going to take this path here on the right, which is the official cycle track, and it goes to Meath, which is spelt with two E's, not with an A. But you'll see the quality here is definitely not the same. In places it's really muddy and overtaken. It's surrounded by trees, it's through the trees. I'm sure it wasn't the original railway track, and we cut our way through these trees here, and we're working our way through the nature reserve, through the edge of it anyway, where there's signposts. Quite a lot of wild birds around. There's wetland, and I think there are places to stop and watch the wetland birds on the flats, but this path on the right is the nature reserve, and at this point we cut in, and this is where we stop. So the Meath Quarry Nature Reserve is a lovely place to stop. There's picnic benches, and we stopped for some hot soup that we'd brought with us. Always really great to carry some soup and some sandwiches. And then here we are, we're now returning. So rather than talk you through this bit, I'll just let you watch. It's essentially the same thing. It's a bit quicker going home because what we're doing is we're descending. So we're staying along the top, and then we've got a long descent all the way down to the river at Bideford.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to grey as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue.
So here we are on our final move towards Bideford. So we're crossing over that tributary again and we're heading now towards the station. The quality of the surface has improved dramatically, but you will find as you get towards the evening, as we are now, that there are lots and lots of dog walkers. So just watch out for that, and quite a lot of poo on the side of the road as well. So maybe it's the nature of the dog walkers. So we're heading up now towards, past the little industrial bit, in towards the station at Bideford. and through the station, and now as we come out the other side, it's a short ride alongside the river. You can see all the lights have come on. It was getting very drizzly, it was getting very cold, it was getting very dark, and I'm surprised the camera's showing anything because it was exceptionally dark at this point. But here we go, under that, the new bridge. You can hear that coming for a while. We've got traffic alongside us as well, and now as we get to past this little bit, there's a few boats on our left hand side, and at that point we start returning back to where we parked our car. So at that point I'm going to leave it there. Do look us up on Paul and Diane on the Tandem on our commute page. You'll see it's about 16.5 miles each way. I've marked that one, so it's 32 miles really from one end to the other. So on our return journey, we're going to actually carry on and do more of it in other occasions. Then I'll do a summary of the whole route from one end to the other. But Tarka Trail is a really good ride. You can download the GPX file of this route if you really want, but to be honest, I don't think you need it. You just point and keep going till you get to the point where you don't want to do any more, and then you stop. If you're going to do a circular ride, we'll include those other bits on another trip. But I definitely recommend a trip to the Tarka Trail. So this video will be going up soon, and you'll be able to find that on the page as well. Do keep going, we've got some more trips down. One of them is we're going to take the alternative route from Ilfracombe around to Woolacombe, around the coastal path. Now that one is absolutely brutal, and we've got another trip which takes us down to the Heddon Valley, which you'll really enjoy. It's a beautiful place. But until then, thanks and goodbye, and we'll see you on the next ride. Take care. Bye for now.